Good afternoon, everyone. We're really happy to be the after lunch session. Because usually people are more calm at these sessions. Yeah, they had the no, they didn't have hummus, but okay. Anyway, Nir already introduced all of us, but I want to give each participant a minute or so to actually introduce what they do, how they do. We'll start with you, Adi.
Yeah. Hey everyone, Adi. In the past 6 years, I've been working in the performance marketing space, and I've joined Snap around 6 months ago. I'm leading the gaming and app space vertical, and happy to be here.
1 minute is a lifetime. I can tell you my life story. I'm Gadi Shoshani. I've been in real money gambling and marketing for about 15 years, and then gaming industry for the past 4 years. In Playtika, I manage ad monetization across Playtika, and also 3 studios, Wuga, InPlay, and Yuda Games, as well as partnerships across the company.
I have one my own. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Dmitry. I'm a founder and a chief technology officer at Affise. We've been doing performance marketing platforms and MMP solutions for about 10 years. MMP is now our new product. Performance marketing platform, it's like old and well-known solution for agencies, affiliate networks, and direct advertisers. So we're collecting and providing lots of data insights based on our customers' data, and we are heavily implementing AI for the last maybe year, maybe couple of years so far. So yeah, we have something to tell you as well.
Hi, I'm Ella. I'm a generative AI specialist at CrazyLabs. We're a game publisher. I've been working there for the past year and almost a half. So that's a pretty long time for AI. I work mostly with the art department for visual assets, for game production, and for marketing. That's it, I think.
Okay, thank you to all our participants. It's 1 minute on the spot. I didn't mention, I'm Guy. I work at Plarium for the past decade. I actually celebrated a decade this month. Time flies. And I manage business development and specifically platform partnerships. But I'm here just to ask the questions today. We have experts from various fields. So the topic is Gen AI in games and UA. Miretsky mentioned that UA is part of games, but there are some distinctions here and there. We'll try to cover in this half hour that we have the latest trends, the most interesting questions. We'll try to leave a few minutes at the end of the session for the audience. So if you have something already, consider it. But we'll start with a warm-up question for all the participants. On a more general level, what is the coolest trend you're currently observing in the Gen AI space? Not really necessary games, UA, or related to your work. Just something nice and cool. You want to start?
I can start. Thank you. So I think that the coolest trend that I'm seeing in the Gen AI space is the accessibility. And we can talk about accessibility in so many aspects, but especially regarding creative. AI tools have become so easy to use that almost anyone can easily generate highly sophisticated, visual appealing assets and content, things that a year ago would have required a whole creative team in order to generate. And nowadays we see creators that can produce incredible content that sometimes can also generate even higher engagement than any other paid campaign. And I think this is super interesting because it's really changing the dynamic between advertisers and creators, and it pushes companies to be much more flexible and dynamic in their creative strategy, because sometimes we cannot wait 3 weeks for creative production because there is currently super amazing trend that we should adopt. So I think the key here is not to be late adopter, because once you're catching up, the audience already moved on and it feels less authentic.
So I took the question in a different direction, although accessibility is definitely a strong point. So the way that I see it, Gen AI started, at least initially, mostly with creative images. And I think now, because it was the first early adopter, then it will continue to evolve faster than the rest of the places that it can contribute. For example, like personalization and all those things that people are mentioning right now in-game. Okay, so in-game personalization or creating assets, creative assets on the fly within the game. So personally, I think the biggest jump and the next hype is going to be Gen AI with creative sort of personalization. I'm saying personalization, it's a big word because it's not going to be personalized on a user level, but at least on a cohort level. So it's going to be more segmented, something that we couldn't do in the past.
That's cool. From my side, I will go to the more like general purpose. And in my experience and what we're seeing currently right now is changing in the medical industry. So like generating new proteins, doing some kind of inventions in how we can recognize some patterns in terms of diseases. That's the whole thing, new level. So we couldn't do that like kind of 10 years ago. It was super inefficient and we just couldn't do that. Right now we are able to do that. And I guess in a general thing, not like in a gaming or user acquisition stuff, that's will be the future of humanity, I would say.
That's hard to follow. I would say, as someone who's working with artists, like from the art department, and approaching it from a different angle than Adi, I think the AI tools in the hands of artists are like a superpower, and we see a lot of like what's called AI slope and things that are very easily generated but are very repetitive and not always visually appealing or interesting from the creative point of view or from the visual point of view. But when an artist who has like his creative vision and or an art director who has all of his like creative ideas and he uses AI, it like makes the content like 100 times or I don't know, even more appealing and interesting.
Right, thank you. Those were all very deep. I experimented with Nano Banana recently, and I managed to create a mock-up of pizzas with pizza as a topping on the pizza. And I thought that's impressive, but I guess there are things that are, more interesting. But switching to actual relevant questions, so we'll start with the UA side of the business, right? And we're seeing Gen AI basically allowing for more tailored creatives. And the question is, can it actually in the end game allow for hyper-targeted personalized ads? So in the end, let's say the four of you will get for the same game 4 different ads created just for you based on your behavioral patterns. I mean, forget about regulation and privacy, just on the technical side. You want to start? Or?
I can start. So I think that definitely Gen AI can help it with all the personalization. And it's not only about micro targeting or segmentation, it's more about target broad audience and combine it with dynamic creative strategy, because we all know that companies and ad network and channels switching from narrative targeting to broad targeting. In order to do it in the best way, the recommendation usually is to use different ads format, ads, narrative, etc. And if we put on top of that the layer of some privacy restrictions, so I think that the best, like AI helps us to do these personalizations without like specific audience targeting when we have some user level data restrictions. And by leveraging AI tools, we can still send the right message to the right audience at the right time.
So I think there's a saying that putting aside privacy is a big is a big thing because that's not going to happen, right? So, to me, and I think today the AI, Gen AI, is moving towards microsegmentation, as you mentioned, and more of like the ability, as you also mentioned, the ability to create an exponential number of creatives in parallel, so you can test them, reiterate, and we have tools today like Alison AI, like Omneki, that can help you with quick analysis, recommendation for what needs to be changed. AI will drive those changes, creating an theoretically infinite amount of creatives for you to test, reiterate, and move forward in a quick way, which is something that we couldn't do in the past. So it's not really personalization, because personalization is like a one-on-one thing. I think this is like a micro segmentation on a cohort level basis, and this is like the era that we are in right now. I don't know, who knows what's going to happen in, I was going to say 10 years. 10 years is a lifetime. Imagine where we were with AI 10 years ago. So I'd rather say 2-3 years from today. 1 year from today, yeah, 6 months, who knows? I mean, yeah.
Well, it's from me. I'm more like the guy from the technical side, and once you have more cleaner data and the broad data, you can, yes, like my colleagues said, segment those users, customers, build a little bit more precisely. But regarding the privacy restrictions, it just doesn't happen. Will not happen because I'm seeing like for past 9 years regarding the privacy stuff, I've seen like more and more restrictions that come in, and more and more restrictions will go, I guess, towards to AI nowadays, and eventually we will see like a not like a direct using of collecting the data, or like workarounds to collect something which we can work with, and that's becoming really hard right now.
I can just say from the production side, as my friends here said, it allows for like a large quantity of different materials or assets to use. So from that, like, this is my part that I can contribute to this question.
Right. Okay. So yeah. Again, we mentioned that there are privacy and regulations that you have to abide to. But again, maybe AI LLMs specifically, maybe they can solve these data gaps by feeding them some insights and extrapolating from that. So a follow-up question would be: is there something that we're not measuring today that we should start measuring using Gen AI? Anything that you can think of?
I think it's a great question. And I think that the most valuable application of AI in the measurement world is to enable advertisers to understand what is the added value of each one of their channels, because we know that most advertisers rely today on less click. And we also know that like less click attribution not always reflect the whole user journey, because the user journey is not linear. And the fact that my last click was on Google or a Snapchat or you name it doesn't mean that this channel alone drove my transaction. And each channel has its own and different value to the outcome, to the final outcome. And I believe that by leveraging AI, we can definitely try to understand, and of course, models, incrementality test or triple M, etc. We can definitely try to have a clear view of our performance. And I think that we, like all of us, need, instead of asking which channel gets the credit, we need to ask what is the added value of each platform to my ended goal.
That's a full answer. You get 100. So yeah, I would just say that AI cannot fix privacy laws. It cannot fill the gap, but it can mostly model the parts that are missing. It can help you make strong assumptions based on historical data, based on your game performance, based on lift tests and MMM models, as you mentioned. Yeah, that's my take on it.
So we as human are not as unique as we think, right?
Yeah, for sure. Probably not. That's why we have a segments, you know. It all being said, I can add just like my colleague said, we can fill the gaps for each individual person and make an assumption that he or she doing this and that and that. And generative AI, all these machine learning models and approaches can build like those segments based on the filling gaps of each user. So once you will see the patterns of user behavior, you can change it, you can place it to another segment, you can retarget this user with the various creatives and basically make more money from them. So yeah, I guess answering the question, what the gaps can fill the AI, I assume like the AI can fill the gaps of more personalization of each user, creating the broader or narrow segments. So it's not like a on the segment targeting. It's more like each user targeting based on their behavior.
All right, Ella, we'll move on to more game-related questions, okay? And specifically about game production, okay? Because again, every industry probably has something to benefit from Gen AI tools, from again LLMs to diffusion models. It doesn't matter if you're working, I don't know, HR or on code, but games are also unique because they're a creative industry. So what would you say is the most interesting or unique aspect of integrating Gen AI into game production specifically, by any order? Okay. Ella, you want to start?
Sure. As I said, I've been working in CrazyLabs for almost a year and a half, which is a very long time for AI. And when I started working, they already had an AI department. I think this was possible a year and a half ago because, as you said, gaming is very creative. There are a lot of, specifically CrazyLabs, where publisher at that time, it was mostly like hyper casual games with very simple visual assets, which allowed to integrate AI in production even a year and a half ago. So this is like, I guess, an aspect that not all mobile companies have. Like it's heavily visual content driven. So that allowed us even a year and a half ago, which is a very long time for AI.
Anyone else?
So I think that in game production, the ability to there's a potential and then there's some sort of a risk here, because the potential is in allowing AI to quickly iterate in-game creative, for example. I'm saying creative because that's probably the most evolved item out of all Gen AI tools at the moment. So would you let an AI create assets in real time? Like, would you really allow an AI to create whatever it wants if it thinks that this is the ideal creative to generate? Or would you say, I need some oversight. I need to make sure that it's not gonna F this thing up. I will give a small example. I don't know. So if you give AI the ability to create automatically whatever creative that works for you, you might get, and I don't know if you saw these ads, this ad that like, I don't know, my girlfriend is more beautiful than your wife. I don't know. Do you know these ads? The shitty, like really, really bad ads. Look at your wife, look at your girlfriend, where do you want to invest? Anyway. So I assume I hate these ads and they're blocked for our ad monetization, even though it can produce good revenue because it probably works for a specific segment.
Star is good though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it might generate some good revenue, but it's not something that you would want your brand to be affiliated with. But if you told the AI generate the best ads, best performance ads, so there's a risk. And then you need to go into guardrails, and it's probably not possible to think about every end case scenario. And for this reason, I think that there's a huge potential in game production. How many companies would like open their hands and say, go for it? Like take an AI and say, yeah, go for it, do whatever you want. I'm not so sure, at least not today.
All right. And do you see any other potential upcoming breakthroughs in native Gen AI games? So, few examples. Should we utilize Gen AI for creating assets for production just efficiently, or should we actually go for live asset creation in real time, which again you mentioned a problem with? What about unscripted NPCs? Should we allow NPCs to do what they want in the game? Is there like an interesting opportunity there? What are your thoughts?
You can start the production side.
So you want to start?
I can start.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
These were like 5 questions. So first of all, we already have a game that has like a UGC feature in it. And regarding what you said, Gadi, I think we can create sort of like a machine. When you say AI, it's like a very yeah, it's a broad term. Yeah, I would think, and we're working on something like this, that you can generate a feature that you can generate in real time, and the machine sort of QAs itself, so it can check for nudity, for I don't know, scary content if it's a kids game, something like that. So it's not like a slot machine, press and we'll see what happens. You do sort of like QA to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
I agree.
All right. So we do have 5 minutes. I wanted to check if there are any interesting questions from the audience for our panelists. Nir, do you want to share the mic?
I have a question, but
I want to ask about, because everything with Gen AI is segmentation. I've been in the industry over 20 years, ex-Playtika as well. And starting in the industry, honestly, back in 2002, it was by the motto, no two players are the same. I don't feel that's really changed. And then you come to the VIP segmentation, where it's one-on-one, really understand it. You know, it's too broad Gen AI. You've still got to concentrate on segmentation that needs to be really personalized, one-on-one understanding. And also understanding, do you think we're there yet with the Gen AI that can, not the Gen AI, the AI in general that can understand where the players are coming from and if they're returning from the promotions and the campaigns within the game, which has always been the big
Thank you for the question. I think that the audience won't change. What will be changed is their attention, and it will change even faster than we see now. So I think that advertisers that will leverage AI in their production. So let's talk about like the ads themselves. Their intention, the audience intention, will be shifted toward the ads that will speak their language, and to advertisers that will be agile enough to do it fast and in high quality. So I hope that it answers your question, but I think that this would be the main lever for companies.
So coming from real money gambling companies, I think and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you meant the top 1%, the whales that are driving forward, and the fact that you need to micro segment, or rather personalize. You can even dedicate an account manager for every 2 people to make it personal. So that's great. And personally, I think we have enough experience. Again, Gen AI and AI in general, whatever you feed it, it can do, and it can continue to learn. There's a feedback loop, etc. So I think that actually those things can be rather easily be done, because like we have the know-how, we know what we need to do. There's a workflow, you have some flexibility within it, and you can definitely delegate it to an AI tool. And the person on the other side will probably not even know that they are speaking to an AI in that context. So you have the ability today to micro personalize again, and this is not UA related. This is like you have a customer sitting in front of you, talking, communicating, and yes, the AI can definitely personalize itself, its behavior with this specific user, understand what drives them forward in the funnel, etc., etc.
Okay, just ChatGPT is already doing it with all of us.
True.
It's already done.
One more question down there.
Sorry.
We have
Yes?
1 minute.
Hi. So I wanted to ask about how you feel about the new security aspects and challenges that we all have with the AI, also for user acquisition and for other aspects in games, because this is totally new field and it's dangerous.
So I feel like every once in a while there is something that's coming and we need to like adapt to the changes. If it was the privacy, like in general, and now with the AI restrictions. And again, I think that the company that will be managed to do the adjustments fast will be the one that would lead the industry in general. So of course, every time there's something, like not every time, but once in a while there's something that's coming and maybe change the picture, and we just need to adapt to it. Yeah.
My 2 cents on that. That's a huge problem in terms of once you're sharing the data with other customers, and other customer can, some kind of typing, find backdoors in terms of like the questioning to LLM and see your statistics, stuff like that. Basically, first of all, NVIDIA has some kind of guidelines to provide in terms of large language model, how we can cover and protect the customer from the sensitive data, to retrieve the sensitive data or any other customer's data. But it's, I would say, it's not 100% legit in terms of saving your customers' data, or like a privacy. And you should work on a different level of security. You're storing your data, separate AI, I would say AI data on a different like bucket, and work on this bucket precisely with the LLMs, not with the customer sensitive data. And it's kind of adding the level, but it's not, as I said, no, there is no 100% at all. Like 99.999, yes, you can achieve that, but yeah, not 100%.
Yeah, you're right. With prompt injections, for example, you
Yeah.
can. It's very easy today.
AI is definitely increasing the speed of creating content, advertisement. But is there a thing like, for example, when you look at the image, if it's advertisement, there are criteria like, is the message clean? Is it clear? Is the content? Is it a good quality? But now there is a new kind of criteria. There's too much AI. How do you avoid that? Do you have any data that shows this creative had too much AI for the customer, so they swiped it, they didn't even watch it, they didn't click on it? How do you control the amount of AI? Do you try to fake it to make it, maybe reduce the quality to make it look more humane for the customers? Is there, do you try to to read these data? Is there anything that help you to read these data?
As I said, what you're referring to is what we call the AI slope. It's a very low quality AI generated content. And as I said, when behind the scenes you have a gifted artist who has art direction skills and has design skills, it becomes like a superpower for him. I think like with any new technology, I don't know, 25 years ago, it was Photoshop. At the beginning, people didn't know what was Photoshopped and what wasn't. And I think we are seeing like a trend of people, it's sort of like media literacy. People at the beginning, they didn't know what was AI and what isn't AI, but people will learn what's AI generated and what isn't. A lot of the times they don't care if it's AI or not. It depends. In marketing, especially for gaming companies, things like shock value, as you said, like really disgusting or sexist or I don't know, content will drive the clicks. But you are talking about like artistic integrity or something like that. And it really depends. But at the end of the day, we want to make money. So if it makes money, it's good enough, even if people recognize that it's AI.
So yeah, I was gonna take the question from this last sentence. If you had an AI that generated shit images but would bring you only whales, would you question its artistic integrity? Probably not. So as long as you have a feedback loop where you tell the AI your goal, probably ROI, right? And it's moving in the right direction, I'm sure that you're not gonna critique the creative aspects of the ones generated.
As a business owner, yes, but as a customer, usually for me personally, it's there's AI. I'm not watching it. I wonder if there's many.
This is media literacy. People like know already, some people, yeah, they know to recognize that it's AI. And I think in the future, we'll see like a trend of people like going back to basics, where original and sincere and real content, like, you know, it's like sinus function. This is what I think personally.
All right. Yeah, just don't ask the AI to maximize the production of paper clips. If you're familiar with the experiment, if not, just check Wikipedia about the paper clip experiment. But with that, we actually have to end the session just on time. So thank you all.